Welcome to round number 7 of the IGSBA Bud Jet Sports Tour. Today, from Harris Riverfront Park in Huntington, West Virginia, the West Coast Performance Tri-State Nationals. Huntington, West Virginia, great location here on the mighty Ohio River. David Stanfield, Larry Ripperkarger. Larry, we've got some dirty water out there. There's been some rains upriver, and when they say dirty water, they say dirty racing.
There's a little debris coming down the water, and I don't know if that's what it is, but the riding this weekend, definitely the riders are pulling out the stops. Every single point is getting a little more critical as we get towards the end of this season.
Let's talk about the course. Very unique one.
Very unique indeed. The riders take off on the start, go into a sweeping right-hand turn, and from there things get very interesting. They enter the course on the backside, do another sweeping right-hand turn. Suddenly they find themselves into a left-hand course. They go into a tight switchback section, and there are several of these switchback sections in the course today. This makes for some great sections to pass in. From there, we go into a sweeping left-hand turn and then down a very unique long front straightaway. And what makes this unique is that we have a seawall right next to the front straightaway. All the chop from the skis comes right back out into the course. It doesn't dissipate up on the shore. It comes right back out, makes it very choppy. It's a very difficult section, and this is where we're going to be taking our radar readings today. We make a left-hand turn into another tight switchback section, go back out towards the backside of the course, another switchback section, the right-hand sweeper again, back toward the front. We go for a total of 10 laps.
The tour leader is Victor Sheldon, boat number 2, but today he comes across the finish line in 4th place in Pro Modified number 1. 4th place is not a good finish. He lost some points to Jeff Jacobs, who did win spectacularly.
Most definitely so, but you know what? Jeff was even lucky to make it into the main event. In the heat race earlier today, Jeff lost his hood. He continued to go on. It's a very risky move, but today it paid off for Jeff. He went to the main and he won it with grand style.
Now here's some inside information. Jeff Jacobs has a new boat.
Most definitely. We've seen him in the weekends earlier. Jeff looked a little sloppier than usual. This weekend he came out an all-new machine. It looks like it's handling very well, and the results showed in the first heat.
It's still like a modified 550. Next week it could be a 750. Who knows? But he is on a roll right now. Jeff Jacobs is on the line. He wants to sweep this weekend here in Huntington, West Virginia. Let's go to the Pro Modified main event number 2.
Well, Dave, one of the interesting factors that we have working this weekend is that current flowing from right to left at about 4 knots. The riders are going to be taken out away from that first turn buoy. They're going to have to almost aim for it to be in the right position by the time they get there.
Jeff Jacobs, boat number 1, pole position. To his left, Victor Sheldon, followed by Harry Gocher, McCluggey, Schultz, Yulich, Fischetti, and Pointer. And it is Jeff Jacobs, boat number 1, and Jason Schultz. But on the outside, Chris Fischetti, the Black Triangle, the world champion, takes the whole shot.
Bonsai move by Fischetti on that 750. It looks like Davies finally got the handling figured out on that thing.
24-year-old Chris Fischetti out of El Cajon, California, the 7th-year pro with the whole shot and a substantial lead just in the first 2 turns.
The big difference there, Dave, Fischetti went into that first turn and just bonsai'd wide open all the way around the outside. It didn't look like he even let off.
Here's our leader, Chris Fischetti, boat number 1, followed by Jeff Jacobs. In 3rd spot, 9X, the white boat, Chris McCluggage, followed by Billy Pointer, boat number 35. And look at Chris Fischetti flying down the front straightaway.
Chris Fischetti flying indeed. His dad, Pops Fischetti's been doing a lot of work on that thing. It looks like they're starting to get it dialed in.
Chris Fischetti, our leader right now. Can he hold on? His best finishes thus far this season. He has 3 second-place finishes and a fantastic hole shot. It came a little bit late.
It did. In fact, it looked like Jacobs on the inside was going to pull it off. He squats down here trying to squeeze out a little more top end. Him and Jason Schultz let off for the first time, but look at Fischetti on the outside, just wide open around there, sweeping right past him.
No doubt, Chris Fischetti and his father, affectionately known as Pops, has found the speed. Fischetti leads Jeff Jacobs, Chris McCluggage, and Billy Pointer. But does he have the endurance?
I think, Dave, that will be the key here. Fischetti has not had the best of health this year. He's had some problems with a virus. But no doubt the mid-season R&D work is starting to pay off on the machine.
Fischetti holding on the lead, but he is being pressured by Jeff Jacobs, who wants a clean sweep here in Huntington, West Virginia. Stay with us. The West Coast Performance Tri-State National U. Welcome back to the International Jet Sports Boating Association's Bud Jet Sports Tour, round number 7. The West Coast Performance Tri-State Nationals, Huntington, West Virginia, on the mighty Ohio River. Our leader is Chris Fischetti, followed by Jeff Jacobs. Chris McCluggage and Billy Pointer. Rubbing fiberglass at the start was Victor Sheldon and Harry Gocher. Victor Sheldon has moved into 5th place, but all eyes are on Chris Fischetti and this man, boat number 1, the defending national champion, Jeff Jacobs, and take a look at the front straightaway.
That brutal front straightaway, Dave, we talk about all that chop. It is really brutal.
And Jeff Jacobs misses the buoy, that left-hander, and Chris McCluggage, the white boat 9X, moves into 2nd. Jacobs, who looks like he had the whole shot at the beginning of this race, has now dropped to 3rd.
That is really a surprise. Jacob is looking much better than he has in the weeks past. He's got a new machine. Actually, it's his practice boat, but he likes the way it handles much better than what he has been using in Pro Mod number 2. He brought it out this weekend. He was looking much smoother, but he made a very costly mistake there.
Chris McCluggage chasing down Chris Fischetti. Now, Chris Fischetti's fan club, the Fish Syndicate. Here's an update by the entertaining Fish himself.
Fish, mental syndrome now healing quickly. Faster boats, reorganized horsepower, added strength, hopefully flawless.
Well, thus far, the Flying Fish has been flawless. Take a look at his front straightaway speed across that bumpy seawall. 41.2 miles per hour.
That's very impressive with these rough conditions right here, Dave. McCluggage in second, and look at Jacobs. He's all over him. Jacobs not looking like in the weekends past his mental attitude, but looked like he was a little frustrated. Today, he's on the gas and very aggressive.
The four-time world champion, take a look at the beeline, trying to capture second place over McCluggage. McCluggage goes wide into the center of the river, and they meet at that next buoy.
They slammed in that turn, Dave. I don't know what McCluggage was doing out so wide, if he was compensating for the current or what. Jacobs saw it, he took advantage of it and stole second place away from him.
Let's take a look at that pass one more time where they tagged one another.
McCluggage trying to come back inside. Him and Jacobs make a little contact there. McCluggage, though, he bobbles, he goes down, and Jacobs is gone.
Jeff Jacobs on that modified 550. You'd think the 750 would be handling better in these rough conditions, but Jeff Jacobs has got the speed down the front straightaway. Fischetti turned in a 41.2 for his top speed. Jeff Jacobs clocks in at 41.5.
A little faster, and that is really a surprise. The 750s handle so much better in the chop, but Jacobs, that new machine of his, he's looking like a Jacobs of old today.
Well, Jeff Jacobs is making life very difficult for Chris Fischetti. He has moved up on Fischetti and looking for a way around him.
Dave, Fischetti went wide in that turn. You got to wonder if endurance is, in fact, starting to play a part. And look at Jacobs. He's all over him.
It looks like Fischetti is running out of gas himself personally. Jacobs to the outside, back to the inside. What a pass.
Great move by Jacobs. Fischetti was looking back. Look how he was trying to block him in that turn, and Jacobs cut across his wake, outsmarted him, and went by him.
Our leader now is Jeff Jacobs, the blue and white boat, boat number 1, the defending national champion. Fischetti now has got to settle with second place. Going to try to hold off Chris McCluggage. Here's the pass one more time.
Going into the left-hand turn, Fischetti looking over his shoulder. He tries to take Jacobs out wide, but Jacobs, incredible move, cuts across his wake. That is so hard to do when you're mid-turn. Jacobs then on the outside, but he takes advantage of that right-hand turn and goes by Fischetti. It's almost like he knew what was going to happen before it did.
Well, Jeff Jacobs, in defending his national title, he's back up against the wall. He needs as many points as possible. The white flag is flying. One more lap to go. He's in a hunt for the national title, trying to defend that over Victor Sheldon. The tour leader is in 4th place right now.
A phenomenal ride by Victor, an 8th place start. He's all the way up to 4th and going for 3rd. Chris McCluggage in front of him. He goes to the inside. Oh, and he misses the buoy.
McCluggage holds on to 3rd. Victor Sheldon, a slight mistake, probably caused by the current of the river, misses that left-handed turn, just exactly what Jeff Jacobs did. And what about the Flying Fish? Chris Fischetti, what a great effort today.
Indeed, a great effort. You can see Chris definitely showing signs of fatigue there with this heat and humidity here taking his toll, but a fantastic ride.
But our leader, the man that's going to sweep the weekend, is Jeff Jacobs, boat number 1, 20 years old out of El Cajon, California. The 5-time and defending national champion, the 4-time world champion, is just cruising now.
Dave, this makes things interesting. Jeff's been indicating he's going to switch to a 750 next week, but with the results today, you got to wonder.
A clean sweep this weekend for Jeff Jacobs. He gained some points on Victor Sheldon, the tour leader. Chris Fischetti, his 4th runner-up spot. A great showing for Chris, followed by Chris McCluggage, Victor Sheldon, and Billy Pointer. They round out the top 5. We'll be right back to speak with our champion, Jeff Jacobs. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Bud Jet Sports Tour and the West Coast Performance Tri-State Nationals, Huntington, West Virginia. Sweeping the weekend, Jeff Jacobs. He is standing by with Larry Rippenkroger. Larry?
Thanks, Dave. Well, Jeff, coming into this year, for the first time ever, I think you've been struggling a little bit here and there, and you've made some changes this week, and it looks like they paid off.
Yeah, I made some changes, not only with my team, but myself, too. I've mentally gone through it this year. Maybe it's because I've lost so many events this year, more than normal, that I've gained a lot of confidence, and I've said, you know, that enough's enough, and I just want to come back, and I think the drive is finally back where I want to get out there and be number 1 and win those races.
Okay, now the big question. Rumor has it you're actually going to switch to a 750 next week.
Well, that's a rumor, but it's up to David Stanfield right now. I don't know. It's hard to say. After a weekend like this, you know, I think what's in the future is just relies day by day for me. And after today, I think maybe I might put that off until maybe a rough water race. But right now, I think it's just the matter that I got the confidence back and that I'm doing really well on these skis again is what's gonna put me on top. And maybe 750 or not, that's what I need.
Well, Dave, he says the decision is yours. What do you think?
Like a good lawyer, my consulting fees are $250 an hour, but this one's going to be free. Our next stop will be the Vallejo Southern Nationals, a beautiful little lake at Georgia's Stone Mountain Park. My advice to Jeff Jacobs, stay with the winning combination, stay with that boat at least one more weekend.